where the only option is to win. And I think their experience just showed down the stretch. They put it together. They made the run at the end of the fourth quarter, and then they continued that run, throughout the overtime. I will say, and I think we talked about this, Jalen was cooking in the fourth quarter. He was the guy that had it going in the fourth quarter. And I understand SGA is your best player, but he was 5 for 8 in the fourth quarter, 16 points. I think that last shot, he had ISO at the top of the key. They were crowding SGA every time he got the ball, bringing weak side help. I think Jalen would have had a better chance of getting an easier shot just on his own right there.
And he's been creating his own shot. On the other side, I think Aaron Gordon, you mentioned him earlier, just understanding his role, making the game easier for the stars. I mean, when Jokic gets the ball, he's going to demand the crowd. Likewise with Jamal Murray. But those guys are willing passers. They're superstars I'm talking about, willing passers, and he's been shooting lights out. And they put the ball in his hands, and he was ready to shoot. Zero hesitation. Like you said, they've been there before.
You said it earlier. Not their best player, but their most important player. In their wins, he averages 21 points per game. In their losses, 12 points per game. 22 tonight, including 4 for 6 from long range.
I am speaking from experience. I have seen it in the finals. I have seen him guard Jimmy Butler. I have seen him go down on the other end and make timely shots. Listen, the scout report of Aaron Gordon not being able to shoot or whatever it was when he first came in the league, that is gone. How does he keep getting open? How does he keep getting open? It needs to be orange alert when the ball hits his hands on the perimeter. Make him drive, pull triggers, rotate, try to get an offensive foul, see if he can make a play for somebody else. But at this point, we cannot see Aaron Gordon keep making cut shots wide open from the three-point range. We just can't keep having it.
But that leads to what Jokic and Jamal demand. They demand attention. They get into the paint and create for others. And you don't see Aaron Gordon now electing to dive when somebody drives because he doesn't feel comfortable shooting three. No, he just, go ahead. You better go help. And he's waiting for that three, catching, shooting, zero hesitation.
Yeah, career high, 44% from long range, Aaron Gordon this season. First 10 years, just 32% from outside. Looking at Michael Porter Jr., you talk about getting the dagger back.
Yes.
You ready for his stats? The first 2 games of this series, just 10 points, 3 for 18 from the field, 2 for 11 from three-point range. This one, 5 for 6 from long range, 21 points. But UD, he looked confident every time he let it fly.
Even in the games where he didn't shoot the ball well, he got to the glass, he rebounded, he defended to the best of his ability. He's one of those guys who we talk about, he's an ignitable guy. You don't worry about how many he misses because you know once he gets it going, he can run off 4, 5, 6, 7 for your team. It only makes it easier, like Vince said, for Jamal and for Joker down there when those guys get it going.
To get him going, though, in the first quarter, it was intentional by David Adelman and running sets for Michael Porter Jr., starting off 5 for 5. It felt like, okay, for us to win, the Denver Nuggets were like, we got to get him going.
Also with your teammates. Your teammates understand how important he is, so they come off plays and they run flare screens for him. He was catching and firing. So they empowered him. You could tell the way he came out shooting that they said, no. You're not hesitating. You shoot the ball because even if he's not making shots, you have to guard him behind that line with the fear of he will make a few and open the floor up.
Yeah. There's no one you fear more than the 2 MVP candidates in this. Yeah. And clearly both teams had a game plan that they executed well. Nikola Jokic, 0 for 10 from outside, 8 for 25 from the field. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, this is a guy that has 72 consecutive regular season games with 20 or more. He had 18 points, 7 for 22 from the field. Vince, what is it about Denver's defense that limited Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to not only just 18 points, but only actually no shot attempts in overtime?
Just the help side defense. I mean, you have to just continue to compete against him. He's a great player. He's up for the MVP. A lot of people feel he should be MVP. So, yes, he's going to get buckets, but you have to stay in the fight and continue to contest. You just see here, look at multiple bodies around him. Every time he gets in the paint, he can't just get a free shot. Every shot must be contested whether you're in the play or not. You can't give a great player a warm-up shot, seeing it go in. You have to give him you can't give him a consistent dose of the same thing. Like I said earlier, great players tend to figure you out when you play me the same way. They're going to eat you alive. And you started to see one-on-one, he started to to take Jamal off the dribble. What did we see in the fourth quarter and late in the fourth quarter? They started putting multiple bodies on him. Now you're not playing one-on-one basketball. You're going to have to pass to someone else or take a tough contested shot.
And I think it was the strategy of Denver, because oftentimes, and you can attest to this because you got trapped more than me, it's not how you trap, it's when you trap.
Yes.
And they brought the trap from the blind side when he wasn't looking. So every time he thought he had one-on-one and he felt like he had a comfortable shot, there was somebody come and make him uncomfortable. And that also throws off your timing as a scorer. So when you do get an open shot, you're rushing it. You're not comfortable. You're not in rhythm. They did a great job defensively tonight.
You see it there. Just multiple bodies. Two
Bronny
guys
is just standing there at the elbow.
Yep.
There's nowhere for him to go but to take that pull-up. Right now, they come off the pick and roll. Look, two guys on him, and you have Jamal Murray shrinking from the top. There's multiple bodies. Look, that is very
He was able to get to his spot, get into the paint, create or score at will. You see here, whoever's in front of him, whether it's shooting the three or getting in the paint, he was getting there at will and getting to his spot and scoring, and he was cooking. So I would have liked to have seen that, and I get it. At the end of the day, you have a superstar in Shea. You give him the ball, but at the same time, I would have liked to see him go one-on-one right there.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those things as a coach that if you don't give the ball to Shea and then Jalen doesn't make the shot, everybody's saying, why didn't you give the ball to SGA? But everybody don't know basketball. Everybody don't know basketball. You go with the hot hand right there, and I understand you have, like you said,
and he's your he's your second best player.
Is not a duck.
He's
not a scrub. He can cook, so let him cook.
All right, well, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they cooked on the glass. They cooked all game, but in the end, they got cooked in OT by the Denver Nuggets, 113-104, your final score.
Mark,
here's Thunder head coach Mark
Denver's
Dagenham.
Defense down the stretch into the fourth quarter to kind of stall the offense into more isolation.
Yeah, at that point in the game, it becomes more of a possession game, so it just naturally slows down, and you got to execute. I thought we did some good things on some possessions. They obviously made a couple more plays, but things we can take a look at as we go into Game 4.
Overall, were you satisfied with the offensive process through the fourth and overtime?
Well, first of all, on a night where we didn't shoot the ball great, I thought we manufactured really well. We got offensive rebounds, we got stuff in transition. We were able to attack the paint, attack the rim. So that's what you have to do when you're not making a ton of jump shots. And we did that for much of the game. In terms of down the stretch and overtime, we'll take a look at it, but it becomes an execution game at that point, trying to generate the best shots you can. It's hard for both teams, obviously, in that situation. And credit Denver, they made a couple more plays.
I know it's not so simple, but before Shea checks in the fourth, it feels like Doug is cooking. And then when Shea checks in, obviously he's still trying to get a feel for the game, but he's shooting step back three.